Even though the king is the most important piece in the game of chess, it isn't the most powerful. The king can move only one square at a time in any direction. The highlighted squares are the examples on which the king can move from the current position. Let's see some king moves. The king can move here. Here is one king move. Here is another king move. Here is another king move. The king can move here, here, here. In chess, both the players have identical sets of pieces. So if you have a king, your opponent will also have a king. The game will continue till if any player gets checkmated, which will be covered in the later chapters. As you have learned the movement of king, it's now your job to practice it. The king may be the most important piece in chess, but the queen is by far the most powerful. Like the king, the queen can move in any direction, forward, backward, and sideways, and also diagonally. Unlike the king, the queen can move as far as she wants in any direction. But one thing the queen can't do is to jump over pieces. The queen cannot jump over any piece. Now let's see some queen moves. The queen can go all the way up to the edge of the board. It can come to all the way on the other side of the board. It can come down all the way down to the board. The queen can also make some smaller steps or smaller moves. The queen can move here, it can move here, it can move here, 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 and again it can move to anywhere on the board. As you have learned the movement of the queen, it's now your turn to practice it. After the queen, the rook is the second most powerful piece. Rook can move up, down, on the sides as far as it wants. But the rook can move only in straight lines. Like the other pieces, the rook also cannot jump over pieces. So the rook cannot jump over pieces. So let's take a look at some rook moves. The rook can move all the way up to the board. It can slide all the way to the side of the board. It can come all the way down to the board, and it can go all the way to the other side of the board. The rook can also make some shorter moves. The rook can move this, you can move like this, like this, like this, and like this. As you have learned the movement of the rook, it's now your turn to practice it. The bishop is one of the most interesting pieces in chess, but it can move only on the diagonals. The bishop, like the other pieces we look so far, cannot cross other pieces or cannot jump over other pieces. This means that the bishop should stay on the same colored square in which it starts the game till the end of the game. In chess, there are basically two bishops. Light square bishop, which is here, and the other one is a dark square bishop. It moves exactly like the light square bishop, but it can move only on the dark squares. Now let's look at the movement of these bishops. This dark square bishop can come into the longest dark square diagonal in the chessboard with just a one move. The same applies to the light square bishop. No matter how many moves you make, these bishops do not cross their paths because they are placed in opposite colored squares. Now, as you have learned the movement of these bishops, it's now your turn to practice it. The knight is perhaps the most fun piece in chess. It is one of the pieces which does not move in some sort of straight line. The knight moves in a very strange manner. It moves in a very strange L-shaped manner. As you can see, the knight moves in L-shaped manner. Perhaps the knight is the only piece in chess which can cross over pieces, which can jump over pieces and move. You can see like this. The movement of the knight is pretty trickier, but as you practice, it becomes easier. Let's look at some knight moves here. As I said, the knight can move in L-shaped, so what are the moves available here? Yeah, you can move here in an L-shaped manner. Next move here, L-shaped manner. Again, so knight can move only in an L-shaped manner. It can jump over pieces. And now, as you have learned the movement of knight, it is now your turn to practice it. Pawn sounds like it is the humblest of chess pieces, but they are one of the most powerful when they work together as a team. There are 8 pawns at the start of the game. Pawns have a few strange rules too, so make sure you should listen carefully. The pawns can move only straight, that too only one step in front of them. But however, if it is their first move, they can choose to play 2 steps forward. However, it is not forced that the pawns should make only 2 steps. They can also move for 1 step in their first move. The pawns can only capture pieces diagonally. They cannot capture it straight. The pawns can only capture them if they are one square up the pawn, like this. So now the pawn can take the knight or the bishop. Let's see some examples. Now it is white to play. Now the white can choose to move the pawn 2 steps or 1 step. Let's say white moves 2 steps in this position and blacks move 1 step. And now white is forced to move the pawn 1 step before. Let's take another example. And now white has only one pawn move in this position. What is that? And if you spot this, you are thorough about the movement of pawns. It is d3. Now, as you have learned about the movement of pawns, it is now your turn to thorough it.